what is particularly striking is this. If these UFOs phenomenon are real, and if some of these sightings cannot be explained by conventional means, they fit remarkably well within the framework of certain and specific end-time prophecies. So today I would like to approach a subject I've never addressed before, UFOs. Do they really exist? And if they do, what are they? More importantly, who might they be? For decades, reports of unidentified objects in the sky were often dismissed, ridiculed, and quickly forgotten. Yet these sightings never seem to stop. In fact, in recent years, they have increased to such an extent that the governments around the world can no longer simply ignore them. So much so that in 2022, the United States government established a new office within the Department of Defense, known as the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or the Ariel. Its mission is straightforward: to collect, analyze, and investigate reports of such unexplained phenomenon. Whether one believes these reports point to advanced technology, natural phenomenon, or something else entirely, one fact remains undeniable. The world's most powerful military now considers the subject important enough to devote an entire office to study it. That is how seriously the UFO question is being taken today. And to give you an idea of how frequently these sightings are being reported, consider this. The National UFO Reporting Center, a civilian organization that has collected eyewitnesses' reports for years, recorded more than 1,355 sightings during the first 6 months of 2026 alone. That amounts to roughly 225 reports every month, submitted by ordinary citizens, commercial and military pilots, police officers, and witnesses from around the world. But here's the mystery. Despite the videos, the photographs, and the testimony of thousands of witnesses, one crucial question still remains. Do we possess definitive proof of extraterrestrial visitors? The answer is no, we don't. To this day, no solid or conclusive evidence has demonstrated that these phenomena of visitors are from another world. And that leaves us with an even greater mystery. If they are not from the other space, then what are they? Who or what is hiding behind this unexplained phenomenon? Who is playing this cosmic game of hide and seek with humanity? And perhaps the most important question of all of this is, what does the Bible have to say about these things? As far as the Bible is concerned, it presents us with three categories of intelligent beings in the universe: God himself, humanity, and angels. So let us consider one by one. Could this phenomenon come from God? The scriptures would lead us to say, no, it cannot. For God does not work through secrecy, through confusion or mysterious games designed to leave humanity guessing. He himself said in Isaiah 45:19, I have not spoken in secret or in a dark place of the earth. When they arrested Jesus in the garden, he said to them, I've spoken openly to the world, and in secret I have said nothing. God does not hide in the shadows, appearing briefly only to disappear again into the mystery and into speculations. So if these phenomena are real, they do not bear the character of God. Could they originate with humanity? No. Man doesn't have the capacity to do this type of things. If such reports are taken at face value, we appear to be left with only one remaining category of being recognized by the scriptures, that is, angelic realm, the angels. Not the holy angels, for they serve God openly and faithfully according to his purpose, but fallen angels, the beings the Bible calls demons. And that raises a sobering possibility. Could some of these manifestations represent an attempt to confuse, to deceive, and mislead humanity? Could they be preparing the world to look for salvation, guidance, or peace from anywhere from God? That is, from the wrong source. These are serious questions, and perhaps now more than ever, they deserve to be examined in the light of what the Bible says. The Bible repeatedly speaks of a spiritual realm inhabited by both holy angels and fallen angels. Paul reminds us in Ephesians chapter 6:12, for our struggle is not against worldly things, but against those powers of darkness, those spiritual forces that is of wickedness in heavenly places. The Bible presents a universe that is far more spiritual than modern materialism would allow. They are spiritual beings. There are powers and principalities. There is deception. There is opposition and warfare. This is what the Bible says. And what is particularly striking is this. If these UFOs phenomena are real, and if some of these sightings cannot be explained by conventional means, they fit remarkably well within the framework of certain and specific end-time prophecies. The scriptures repeatedly warns us that deception will be one of the defining characteristics in the last days. Speaking of the coming of the Antichrist, Paul writes, the coming of the lawless one is according to the workings of Satan, with all powers, signs, and lying wonders. Notice the words, power, signs, lying wonders. Not merely false ideas, not merely false teachings, but supernatural manifestations designed to deceive. The Bible further tells us that Satan himself transformed himself into an angel of light. And Revelation adds the devil and Satan who deceive the whole world. He is actually the deceiver. Could this be one of his methods? Could some of these phenomena be part of a deception preparing humanity to look to the heavens for answers, salvation, or deliverance, but from the wrong source again? And what makes this possibility even more interesting is that these phenomena often come with their own messengers and advocates, portraying the visitors are benevolent, as enlightened beings who may hold the solution for humanity's problems. Consider, for example, Steven Spielberg's recent movie to the UFO themes in his film Disclosure Day. In the movie, extraterrestrial beings are portrayed not as invaders, but as peaceful and advanced beings whose presence among humanity has been hidden from the public and whose revelation carries a message of hope. If you believe this, then you won't believe in Jesus. This continues a theme of Spielberg's explored decades earlier with The Close Encounter of the Third Kind. Do you remember that movie? And E.T. Is not interesting that these movies come at a time when Bible prophecies are beginning to rise and at a time when the Gospels are being proclaimed. This is, by the way, the second time it happens. First, we remember that the very same time that popular culture experienced an explosion of fascination with the UFOs in the late 1970s and early 1980s, at a time when the gospel was advancing in a powerful way. The Jesus movement, if you remember, was bringing thousands of young people to faith in the Messiah. Bible churches and evangelical ministry experienced remarkable growth. And the modern Messianic Jewish movement was born and grew with astonishing speed. Many historians have described this as the greatest movement of Jewish people coming to faith in Jesus since the first century. And today, as we are seeing some wonderful prophecies being fulfilled in front of our eyes, the fascination about the UFO has returned. This may be among the greatest deception this world may see, and it is only the beginning. And if UFOs are real, they do fit so much the strategy of the evil beings to work in the dark and never openly declare who they are. Are we to expect that is an increase of these type of sightings? The answer is yes. I believe we are to expect these things. As we are approaching the very end of times, the Bible tells us in Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has come down having great wrath, knowing that he has only a short time. He will use all that is in his power to confuse and to deceive. As for us, let us not be impressed by these things, but let us stay close to the eternal truth of God found in the Scriptures, who uncover these things for us. And today, in our study, we'll look into the realm of the spiritual world and see how the Lord has provided such a wonderful armor that will protect us from any of these fiery darts, as they are called, which come from the evil one, which come from this spiritual world. We will look into the invisible war that is the subject of this study.